The city glittered, cold and hard. At its center was a man they called the chairman. He ran everything, but he felt nothing. His world was a silent film of money, respect, and shadows. One night, he entered a quiet jazz bar, the only place his guards didn't follow. There, he saw her, a woman with warm eyes and a voice that felt like a forgotten memory. She was a singer from Chicago, far from home. She didn't know who he was. For the first time in his life, he didn't want to tell her. He started going to the bar every night, sitting in the same dark corner. He would just listen. She started calling him her Quiet Mountain because he was so still and strong. She talked about her life, her dreams of a family, things he could never offer. He knew getting close to her was a death sentence in his world. His enemies would use her. But for 3 months, he let himself be just a man, not a boss. He was happy. Then his world crashed into hers. A rival gang attacked the bar, looking for him. Bullets shattered the glass and music. He saw the terror in her eyes as he fought to get her out. In that moment of chaos, she saw the truth. She saw the guns, the violence, the men who called him boss. He got her to safety, but her face was blank with betrayal. "Who are you?" she whispered. He had no answer that could fix this. He made the hardest choice. To keep her alive, he had to make her disappear. He arranged a new life for her back in America, far from him. He gave her a suitcase of money, a one-way ticket, and a final, painful lie. "This was just a game to me," he said, his voice like stone. "Forget you ever knew me." He watched her cry, but he didn't wipe her tears. He turned and walked away, each step feeling like a knife in his heart. He thought it was over. For years passed. The chairman was more powerful and more empty than ever. One afternoon, he visited a new playground his company had built. He liked to watch the normal life he could never have. That's when he saw her, the little girl. She was drawing on the ground with bright pink chalk. She had his exact eyes, a mirror from the past. And she had her mother's beautiful, warm skin. His breath stopped. The girl looked up, not scared at all. "Hello," she said. "I'm drawing my family. That's my mommy. I'm looking for my daddy, but mommy says he's far away." She pointed to her drawing. A woman, a little girl, and a tall, faceless stick figure. A cold dread and a wild hope flooded the chairman's veins. He knelt, his expensive coat touching the dust. "What's your mommy's name?" he asked, his voice cracking. Before she could answer, a familiar voice, now edged with fear, cut through the air. "Baby, don't talk to strangers." He looked up. There she was. Time had changed her, strengthened her, but her eyes held the same pain he'd put there. She froze, the color draining from her face. The world went silent. In that heartbeat, the past, the lie, and the little girl between them changed everything forever. The game was not over. It had just begun. He stood up slowly, his eyes locked on the woman from his past. The little girl ran and hugged her mother's leg. "Mommy, he's not a stranger. He has your sad eyes," the girl said. The mother, Maya, pulled her daughter close. "Go wait by the bench, sweetheart," she said, her voice tight. The chairman took a step forward. "Maya," was all he could say. She held up a hand to stop him. "You don't get to say my name," she hissed. "You look at her, and you walk away. Right now." He couldn't move. He watched the little girl, his daughter, skip to the bench. "What is her name?" he asked. Maya's jaw was clenched. "Grace. Her name is Grace. And she is none of your business." He saw the fear beneath her anger. "You kept her from me," he whispered, the accusation mixing with his own guilt. "You told me to forget you." Maya shot back, tears finally breaking through. "You paid me to leave. I used your money to leave you and this whole country behind. I found out about her 2 months after I landed in Chicago." The confession hit him like a physical blow. She had been alone, pregnant, carrying his child. He had been here, building his empire on loneliness. "I did it to protect you," he said, the words sounding hollow even to him. "By breaking my heart?" Maya asked. "You think your enemies are worse than a fatherless child? We've been fine." We are visiting a friend for 1 week. Then we are gone. You will never see us again. She turned to collect Grace. Please. The word was foreign on his tongue. He never begged. 1 hour. A conversation. Somewhere public. You have my word. No harm, no follow. Just let me understand. Maya looked at Grace, who was now drawing on the bench with her chalk. She saw the desperate want in the man's eyes. It wasn't the cold boss she remembered. It was the quiet mountain from the bar. Against every instinct, she gave a single, sharp nod. 1 hour. Tomorrow. The coffee shop on the Riverwalk.
Noon.
You come alone. The coffee shop was bright and full of tourists. He arrived first, choosing a table in the back corner. He wore simple clothes, no suit, no rings. He wanted to be invisible. When Maya walked in, his heart hammered. She sat down, not touching the coffee he'd ordered for her.
Talk, she said.
He started with the only truth he had. I am sorry. There is no excuse for what I did to you. I was a coward. He told her about the attack that day, about a specific enemy who had a habit of targeting loved ones. If they knew you mattered, they would have taken you. They would have used you to gut me. I thought my lie would make you hate me enough to stay safe. Maya listened, her arms crossed. You succeeded. I hated you. I cried for months. Then Grace came, and I had no room for hate. Only for her. She finally took a sip of the coffee. Why are you here? After all this time? He leaned forward. The playground, it's mine. My company built it. I go sometimes to remember. He almost said to remember you.
It was fate, he said instead.
A cruel one, she replied. What do you want from us? He looked out the window. I don't know. To know her. To help you. To fix what I broke. You can't fix it, Maya said, but her voice was softer. Our life is simple. It's good. You are a storm. We don't need a storm. He nodded, accepting the truth of it. Can I see her? Just once more before you go?
Not as me.
Not as her father. Just a man at the park. Maya studied his face. She saw the loneliness she once sang away. The Han River Park. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. We will be there flying a kite. You will not approach. You will watch from a distance. That is the goodbye you get. The next day was windy, perfect for kites. From across the wide park, he saw them. Grace was running, a bright red kite bobbing behind her. Maya was helping, laughing. The sound of their laughter carried on the wind and twisted in his chest. He watched, hidden behind sunglasses, memorizing every detail. The way Grace's hair flew. The way Maya smiled with her whole face, a smile he hadn't seen since before the shooting. For a moment, he was just a man in a park, watching a beautiful dream. It shattered in an instant. A black sedan, out of place in the park, rolled slowly along the distant road. He knew that car. It belonged to his rival, the very man he'd warned Maya about years ago. His blood went cold. They weren't here for him. They were here for them. They had found her. His promise to watch from a distance was incinerated by pure panic. He started walking, then running, across the grass. He reached them just as the car doors opened across the field. Maya, he barked, his voice full of command. She spun, her smile vanishing. You said you wouldn't get behind me.
Now.
His tone left no argument. She pulled Grace close. 2 men in dark suits began walking toward them. The chairman pulled out his phone, sent a single code to his head of security. Then he stood tall, placing himself squarely between his family and the approaching men. The quiet mountain was gone. The boss was back. The 2 men stopped a few feet away. The taller one smiled. Chairman, we heard you had new interests. We just wanted to say hello. His eyes slid to Maya and Grace. Pretty family. The chairman's voice was quieter than a whisper, but deadly. You look at them again, and your eyes will be the last thing you lose. The smile faded. Times are changing. Maybe you're getting soft. Distracted. The threat hung in the air. Just then, 3 of the chairman's own cars screeched to a halt on the path, men pouring out. The park was now a silent battlefield. Families were fleeing. The rival men glanced at the new arrivals, outnumbered. "This isn't over," the tall man said. "It is for today," the chairman stated. "Tell your boss the playground is closed." The men retreated to their car and sped away. The immediate danger was gone, but the damage was done. Grace was crying into Maya's leg. Maya was staring at him, not with anger, but with a horrified understanding. This was his world, and it had just found them. He turned to her, the fight draining from him. "I am so sorry. I will fix this." "Fix it?" Maya's voice trembled.
How?
"By having a war around our daughter?" They saw her face. She was right. The secret was out. His enemy now had the perfect weapon. "Come with me," he said. "Not to my home. To a safe place. Just until I can make this safe." "No more of your places. No more of your lies," she cried. Grace looked up, her small voice cutting through. "Mommy, is the bad man gone? Is my friend safe?" She was looking at the chairman. The word friend broke him. He knelt, ignoring the men standing guard around them. "The bad men are gone, Grace. I am sorry I scared you." Grace reached out a small hand and touched his cheek. "You have a scratch," she said. He hadn't even felt it. Maya watched this tiny interaction, her daughter's innate trust, this violent man's gentle crumble. The wall around her heart cracked. She had no choice now. The storm was here. "Where is this safe place?" she asked, defeated. The safe place was a modest apartment in a quiet, old neighborhood. It looked completely ordinary. Inside, it was secure like a bank vault. Maya put Grace to sleep in the only bedroom. When she came out, he was standing by the window, staring into the night. She asked if he would be here in the morning. Maya said quietly. He closed his eyes. "What did you say?" "I said I didn't know." He told her his plan. To go on the attack. To remove the threat, the rival boss, for good. It was the only language that world understood. "And if you fail?" Maya asked, sitting down exhausted. "Then you and Grace will be on a plane with new identities before anyone knows I'm gone. My lawyer has the documents. You will be protected, financially, forever. It is the only real promise I can give you." It was a goodbye plan. He was preparing to fall on the sword to shield them. Maya looked at this man, willing to burn down his own world for a daughter who didn't know his name. The man who lied to save her, and who ran into danger to save them today. The hate was too heavy to carry anymore. "For years ago, you made a choice for me," she said. "You don't get to make this one alone. We stay. We see this through. Not for you. For her future. But you look at me and you swear on her life, no more lies. From this second forward, we face the truth together." He turned from the window. For the first time in 4 years, he looked at her without a shadow between them. "I swear," he said. It was a vow. The quiet mountain and the singer were gone. Now, they were partners in a dangerous, fragile hope. The war was coming, but tonight, in this silent apartment, a family began, for the first time, to exist. The next 3 days were a tense quiet. He stayed at the apartment, a king in a tiny exile. He conducted his business through whispered phone calls. Grace, resilient as children are, began to see him as a permanent, if sad, fixture. She showed him her drawings. He learned she loved strawberries and hated the sound of motorcycles. Each small fact was a treasure he locked away. Maya watched them, a silent guard. She saw the ruthless boss struggle to open a juice box, his large hands clumsy. She saw the way Grace's laughter made him freeze, as if scared to break the spell. He finally shared the full truth with Maya. His real name, Minjun. The sprawling network of his business, both legal and not. The name of the rival, a man named Junho, who is more snake than wolf. "He doesn't fight head-on," Minjun explained, staring at a city map.
He poisons. He steals.
He uses whispers. He will try to turn my own people against me by saying I am weak, that I have a vulnerable heart. Maya understood. "We are your weakness." He looked at her, his gaze steady. "You are the only part of me that is strong." On the 4th morning, the trap was set. Minjun had to surface, to draw Junho's attention away from the neighborhood. A planned meeting at his headquarters. My most loyal men will be here, hidden, guarding this building with their lives, he promised Maya. He knelt before Grace. I have to go to work, little one. Grace hugged his neck. Be careful of the bad men, Mr. Min. He held her, breathing in the smell of chalk and shampoo, memorizing it. He left without looking back. The goodbye was too heavy. The meeting was a performance. Min-jun sat in his glass office, a symbol of power. He knew Junho's spies were watching. He let a carefully crafted rumor slip to a traitor in his ranks. The location of a secret family was in a luxury hotel across town. He was baiting a switch. Sure enough, within the hour, his scouts reported Junho's men mobilizing toward the false location. The first part of the plan worked, but Min-jun felt no victory. A deeper chill settled in him. It felt too easy. Back at the apartment, the silence grew thick. Maya tried to read, but jumped at every elevator ding in the distance. Grace snapped. The 2 guards stationed inside were statues. Then the power went out. Not just in the apartment, but the entire building. A low groan, then darkness. The guards snapped into action, guns drawn. Get the child, one hissed. Maya ran to Grace's room. This wasn't an attack on the false location. This was the real one. Junho hadn't taken the bait. He had outsmarted them. The door to the apartment exploded inward, not with gunfire, but with a deafening flash and a cloud of smoke. Flashbangs. Maya clutched a screaming Grace, blinded and disoriented. Strong, gloved hands grabbed her. Another pair ripped Grace from her arms. She heard scuffles, choked grunts from the guards. Then, a voice, slick and calm in the chaos. Tell the chairman he can have them back, when he gives me everything he owns. Then, they were gone, swallowed by the stairwell darkness. The apartment was empty, save for the sound of Maya's shattered scream. Min-jun's phone rang as his car sped back across the city. He heard the panic in his guard's voice, the words flashbang and taken. The world narrowed to a tunnel of pure, icy rage. Junho had played him. The hotel diversion was a trick to make him feel clever, to pull his focus while the real strike happened. He had taken them. Min-jun didn't scream. He issued orders, his voice flat and lethal. Every asset, every debt, every hidden weapon was called in. The city would burn to find them. He arrived at the ransacked apartment. Maya was gone, Grace's little drawing left on the floor. He picked it up, the family drawing with the faceless stickfather. He crushed it in his fist, then carefully smoothed it out, his hands trembling. This was the cost of his life. This was the poison he had let touch them. His head of security, a man who had been with him for 20 years, approached. Sir, we have a location. An old textile factory on the docks. It's a trap. He wants you to come. Min-jun knew it was. Junho would be surrounded by men, guns, and his 2 precious hostages. To walk in was to die. But to not walk in was to let them die. There was no empire, no money, no power that mattered in that calculation. He looked at the smooth drawing. He finally had a face. He was a father. Gather everyone, he said. We go. Not to negotiate. To end him. The factory was a cathedral of rust and shadows. Min-jun's men surrounded it silently, cutting off escape. He walked to the main entrance alone as demanded. The large door creaked open. Inside, under a single hanging light, sat Junho. Maya and Grace were tied to chairs beside him. Grace was crying silently. Maya's eyes were wide with terror, but when she saw Min-jun walk in alone, a new fear, for him, overshadowed it. The sentimental chairman arrives. Junho sang. You gave up your kingdom for a woman and a brat. Let them go. This is between us, Min-jun said, his eyes never leaving Grace's face, trying to send her courage. But it is.
Junho laughed.
You broke the rules. You showed a heart. That makes you broken. Now you will kneel. You will sign over your businesses. Then maybe I let them live. He placed a gun on the table. Or you can try to be a hero. And they die first. Min-jun's mind raced. His men were in position, but one wrong move. Maya spoke, her voice clear in the vast space. Minjun, don't you dare kneel. She looked at Junho, her fear hardening into a fierce contempt. You are a small man who steals families because you can't build one. Junho backhanded her across the face. The crack echoed. Grace screamed, Mommy, and Minjun saw red. It was the signal. A single sniper shot, from high in the factory rafters, took out the light, plunging them into near darkness. The trap was sprung, but from the inside. Chaos erupted. Not from Minjun's men outside, but from within Junho's own circle. Two of his closest guards turned their guns on the others. They were Minjun's deep cover men, planted years ago. While the loyalists were confused, fighting each other in the dark, Minjun moved. He wasn't heading for Junho. He was a bullet aimed at the chairs. He knocked Maya and Grace to the concrete floor, covering their bodies with his own as gunfire sparked around them. He felt a searing pain in his side. He ignored it. He cut their bonds with a knife from his pocket. Crawl. To the east wall, now, he shouted over the noise. Maya, clutching Grace, scrambled toward a small door his men had identified. She looked back once. Minjun was standing again, facing Junho, who was now alone and cornered under a beam of emergency light. The two bosses faced each other. No more men, no more tricks. It ends now, Minjun said, blood soaking his shirt. Junho raised his gun. Minjun was faster. A single, echoing shot. Junho fell. The remaining gunfire sputtered and died. The factory was suddenly, deafeningly silent. Minjun stumbled to the east wall, where Maya and Grace were being helped by his men. He collapsed to his knees before them. Grace broke free and ran to him, hugging his neck. You're bleeding, Mr. Min. He held her, his eyes finding Maya's over their daughter's shoulder. It's over, he breathed. At the hospital, stitched and bandaged, the final twist came. Not from an enemy, but from a choice. Maya sat beside his bed. Grace slept on a chair. The police will have questions. The news this will follow her, Maya said quietly. He nodded, the weight of his world still pressing down. I know. I have a solution. But you must choose. He laid it out. He would dismantle it all. Sell the illegal interests, make the legitimate business a trust. He would disappear from the public eye.
For them.
Or he would stay away forever, ensuring they had a clean, quiet life without his shadow. Maya took his hand, the first touch she had initiated in 4 years. She looked at their sleeping daughter, then at the man who had twice given up his life for them. You once told me your world was a silent film, she whispered. We don't want a film. We want a life. A quiet one. Can you be the man in the park? Not just for a day, but forever? He brought her hand to his lips, a promise sealed not with words, but with a tear that finally broke free. The boss was gone. The father was here. The story didn't end with a kingdom, but with a porch light left on, and a little girl finally knowing exactly who was coming home.